This is the Quechua 2 seconds pop-up tent. This is a 2-person version, and in this video we'll be testing its ease of setup, ease of takedown, spaciousness, comfort, ventilation, and more. I bought this Quechua tent from Decathlon and got the tent inside the carry bag, plus 9 stakes and 7 guidelines in these pockets here. I'll put affiliate links below if you want to check this out. To set up this Quechua 2 seconds tent, first take the tent out of the carry bag and remove the yellow strap. The tent will pop open to form this bigger circle. Then undo the red buckles followed by the yellow buckles and unfold the tent. This takes just 30 seconds. If you want to, you can stake down the tent body using 4 of these loops and also guide it out using the 7 provided guidelines. If you attach the guidelines earlier and remember that they do not come pre-attached, staking and guying out the tent should take only about 2 minutes. If you want to, you can skip this step, but I highly recommend at least staking down the tent body and also guying out this rear vent here. Altogether, the entire process should take at most 2.5 minutes once you're used to it. To take down and pack up this Quechua 2 seconds tent, first remove all the stakes, then reach for this red buckle at the back of the tent and pull it out. Fasten the red buckles together, followed by the yellow buckles. Then grab the red strap near the yellow buckles and push the tent body down to the ground. It'll form a figure 8 shape which you need to fold in half to get back into the smaller circle. Secure the yellow strap across the tent and place it back into the carry bag. It takes just 30 seconds to remove all the stakes and 2 minutes to fold and pack up the tent itself, so altogether about 2.5 minutes for the entire pack up. I usually leave the guidelines attached, so if you want to remove them, it'll take slightly longer. For more detailed instructions and tips on how to set up and take down this Quechua tent, you can check out this video on my channel. The peak height of this Quechua 2 seconds tent is around here at the front of the tent, and the lowest height is at the back of the tent. The peak height at front of the Quechua tent is about 39 inches high. Without a mattress inside the tent, I can sit up straight without my head touching the top of the tent. The lowest height at the back of the Quechua tent is about 30 inches. Even without a mattress, I cannot sit up straight and my head touches the top of the tent. The length of this Quechua tent measures about 82 inches, while the width measures about 52 inches. The width of the Quechua tent is too small even for a full-size mattress. When I inflated an almost full-sized Coleman mattress inside this Quechua tent, it couldn't really fit well. This end of the Coleman mattress is actually bulging out of the side of the tent, so having a queen inside this tent is definitely out of the question. This Coleman mattress is about 8 inches thick, and it honestly felt pretty claustrophobic inside the tent with such a thick mattress. While I could sit up straight at the center of the tent, my head still touches the top. And at the back of the tent with the lowest height, I couldn't even sit down properly. That's why Decathlon actually recommends a maximum thickness of 2.4 inches. Here's what the Quechua tent looks like with a Climate W pad with 2.5 inches of loft. It's definitely a lot roomier, and at least I could sit up everywhere inside the tent. Also, while the Coleman mattress I used earlier was almost a full size, this Climate W is just slightly bigger than 2 regular pads put together, so it fit perfectly. Here's 2 more things to take note of. First, the fabric of the main tent body droops downwards quite a bit with minimal contact with the rainfly. This reduces the likelihood of condensation forming on the tent body, but it also makes the tent feel a little more claustrophobic than it actually is. Also, there's no vestibule, so if you leave your shoes out, it will get wet if it rains. For comfort and features, this Quechua 2 seconds tent has a single door at the front of the tent, measuring about 41 inches in width and about 36 inches in length. You can zip up this green door entirely without having to zip up the inner white fabric. If you find it a bit stuffy and you don't want to use the door, you can just zip up the white inner fabric instead, and this will give you a small window for more ventilation. This window measures about 31 inches in length and about 8 inches in width. If you want to zip the door up though, you have to first unzip the window. Both the outer green door and the inner white window have 2 zips each, and both can be zipped open and closed from both the inside and outside. There are 2 pockets in the entire tent, both near the front of the tent and 1 on each side of the tent. Each pocket measures about 7 by 6 inches. There's also 1 lantern loop at the back of the tent where you can hang a small lantern like a black diamond emoji. Once when I went camping, I forgot to take the lantern down and it just rolled out nicely when I was packing this tent up. For ventilation, there's only 1 vent in this Quechua tent, which is a rear vent. It's pretty small though, and it's gotta be guyed out if you want it to be open. Here's what the vent looks like from the inside. There's also two spaces in the rainfly here, one on each length of the tent, which open up to the main body of the tent. Also, if you leave the green door open, you get some ventilation through the mesh of the window. However, on a rainy day, you do have to close the outer green door entirely, or water will get into your tent for sure. You can leave the rear vent open though, and no water will get in. Also, no water will get into your tent through the two spaces in the rainfly. To test for condensation, I slept in this Quechua tent on my own overnight and closed both the window and door. The airflow inside the tent is definitely limited, and it was a bit warmer and stuffier inside the tent than it was outside, but not unbearable. When I woke up the next morning, the walls of the Quechua tent were completely dry, but I did notice a few drops of condensation on the roof of the tent. It would probably be worse with two people inside the tent though. I put this Quechua 2 seconds tent through a whopping 3 days of heavy afternoon thunderstorms, and it held up surprisingly well. Even though it was raining heavily for multiple hours every day, the rainfly protected the entire tent really well, and I didn't notice any seeping of water through the rainfly at all. However, I did notice that there are these seams at the two corners at the back of the tent where a little bit of water started leaking in after about 30 minutes. It's just a small trickle of water though, and nothing too serious. The seams have been factory taped, but because I've had this tent for many years, the seam tape kind of degraded over the years and started to let water in. But once you reseal these seams, this Quechua tent is fantastic for heavy rains. For wind protection, this Quechua tent has 7 guy lines, 1 for the rear vent and 6 for tent body support. When I guyed out the entire tent, it was super stable even though I tried to shake it quite vigorously. I didn't actually test for wind protection, but I'm pretty sure this tent can take quite a beating. For quality, I found the Quechua tent to be pretty high quality. The polyethylene bathtub flooring feels quite thick and rugged, and so does the rainfly, which is made of polyester. All the seams on the rainfly have been taped, and so have the seams on the bathtub flooring. But this is an old tent though, so I should have resealed the seams. The inner tent body is also made of polyester, but it's quite a bit thinner as you can see here, but I had no issues with it. The stitching all around the tent is double stitched and consistent. I didn't notice any loose threads in the tent at all. The zippers don't feel super smooth, but they are quite catch-free, so unzipping the outer green door and inner window was pretty much a breeze. The poles are made of fiberglass, and over the past few years of light usage, they're still going strong. None of the poles have broken on me so far. The carry bag is made of polyester and comes with pockets for your stakes and guy lines. It's the perfect size for the packed up Quechua tent, and I never had any issues trying to fit the tent back in. For portability, this Quechua 2 seconds tent has a packed size of 26 by 26 by 6 inches. For a size comparison, here's what it looks like beside a Coleman 2-person Sundome tent, as well as a 32-ounce Nalgene bottle, and it weighs about 5.5 pounds for just the tent and carry bag alone without the stakes. The carry bag comes with both a handle at the top as well as a shoulder strap for easy carry. For pros, I think the biggest one is that it's super stormproof. I put this Quechua 2 seconds tent through 3 days of heavy afternoon thunderstorms, and no more than a few drops of water leaked into the tent. It's also super sturdy when fully guyed out. It's also very user-friendly. It pops open in 30 seconds, and if you want to stake and guide it out, the full setup only takes 2.5 minutes. The pack-up is guided, so you won't have to struggle with it, and takes just 2.5 minutes as well. I also found the materials high quality, and it's pretty inexpensive for a good quality 2-person pop-up tent. Please help me hit that like button if this video has been helpful so far. Thank you, and I really appreciate it. As for cons, I think the biggest one is that ventilation is limited on both hot and rainy days. The green rainfly is not removable. It's full coverage. There are very few vents and very little mesh on the inner tent body. Also, the base area isn't very big. A full-sized mattress bulges out the back of the tent, and you can fit only 2 pads with a little leftover room. To be able to fit a full or queen mattress, you have to get the 3-person version instead. Overall, I really like this tent despite the limited ventilation. I've had this pop-up tent for many years now, and I really do think that Decathlon makes great products, and there is no other pop-up tent in the market that can beat the rain and wind protection of this tent. How does this Quechua 2 seconds tent compare to other pop-up tents? Well, don't worry, because I've already done a comparison for you in these videos. I'll put them up when you're ready, so do check those out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.